So after 3.5 years, something like that. After 3.5 years, I set a bench press PR. Previous PR was 140 kilos. Now I hit 142.5. Yeah, so I basically put in a month of consistent benching, which, if I think about for the last 3.5 years, I don't know if I've done a month of consistent benching. Never really was excited. I would have stretches of excitement, and then I would kind of run away from it. My whole training has always been around, squatting predominantly, and then deadlifting as a secondary. And for the longest time, my benching has felt crap. Dealing with the hip issue on and off for a very long time. So every time I would kind of hit a crisis point, I would drop everything and just try and work out what's happening with the squat. And for some of you guys that have watched for a long time, you know that I've tried a lot of different things. So many bloody things I've tried. And with that, a lot of time went by. A lot of training time went by, and oftentimes, the benching would kind of cross my mind after an hour and a half or 2 hours inside a session, and I would go, nah, screw that, and I would just kind of walk away. So the lower body, not just the lower body, the upper body as well, all in relation to the squat, would always take precedence. But ever since my boy was born, 52 days ago, I've been benching. So 52 days, so more than a month, I've been benching. Initially, I started with sets of 10. I started with 70 kilo sets of 10. I did that for about a week, every other day, maybe 2 weeks, and then I went to 80 kilos, then 90 kilos, then 100 kilos, and then for the last, I want to say, week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, something like that. I would have to look at the log. I've gone to doubles. So for the last, I want to say 2 sessions, I was doing 130 kilo doubles. And while I was doing that, I was feeling, okay, I'm handling this pretty well. Maybe there's a PR around the corner. Today I came in and I thought, instead of going straight to 130 for doubles, I thought maybe I'd just go up to 140. And I thought, well, if I'm loading 140, let's load 142.5. And I did that, and it was a bit of a grinder. A lot of this stuff is neurological. Because there tends to be, oh my God, this feels extremely heavy in my hands. And the moment you start to feel that in your hands, you're like, crap, this is really heavy in my hands. And then you almost kind of try and rush the positioning, and you try to kind of I don't know, the mental side kind of worries you a little bit. It's kind of like when I squat and I unrack it, I'm like, damn, this is crushing me. If you're feeling like it's crushing you, your central nervous system is not ready for it. Basically, that's kind of how I think about it. So if you do things like, in terms of the squat, if you do things pin squats or jumping or Olympic lifts, that kind of tends to wake up the central nervous system, and that's probably going to be your best bet to feel like you're not getting crushed under the weight. This is why I think when you're doing doubles and triples or singles for lots and lots of reps, you spend a bit of time with that, you get used to that weight in your hands, and then once you kind of get over that feeling of, oh my God, it's crushing me, you can kind of conquer it. It's really weird. It's like you need to feel like you're not getting crushed, and once you feel like you're not getting crushed, you have a chance to actually complete the lift. I know Julius Maddox, I think he's the best bencher in the world right now. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I think he holds the best raw bench in the world. I think he's done, I want to say 760 or 70 pounds, something like that, which is crazy numbers, right? But I remember watching a video by him, and he talked about unracking a super heavy weight and just holding it there. If it's good enough for a guy like that, it's good enough for you. And so probably 3-4 weeks ago, I tried doing that. And I again aggravated my elbow, the right one, and then soon after that my left one started hurting. So I thought, crap, one step forward, two steps back kind of feeling. Because, 50 odd days ago when I started benching a lot, my elbow started feeling really well. And then as soon as I kind of unrack that next echelon of weight, I start to get flamed up again. And so that kind of triggered me 3 weeks ago to look into, again, going back to square one and thinking about the elbows. How do I make this not hurt? Or it's actually this. This hurts, and maybe this is weak. I don't know. So then I started doing the stuff that I showed you guys in the last few videos, like with the hammer, doing this kind of business, rotational work. And that started making me feel really, really well. So in my mind, I was like, okay, so my connective tissue is not ready for the next load because clearly it's crushing me. And not only that, I can't even hold the next weight up because my elbows start to scream. So then I started working with the hammer. I even did some hammer curls. I did like, I don't know where it is. It's over there. You tie a martial arts belt. I mean, I use the towing belt that I have in the garage. You tie it around your hand, and then you put a kettlebell at the bottom, and then you kind of like, you do this with that, right? So if the thing is coming around this way, it wants to pull you that way, so you're doing pronation. And then if the belt's coming around this way, and you're kind of doing supination. And so I've kind of been doing that for the last, I want to say, actually since I started doing the doubles. And actually that kind of allowed me to handle the doubles, because usually doubles kind of aggravate me. Sets of 10, perfect. No trouble at all. I can go until the cows come home. But the moment I started going to triples and doubles, I started hurting again. I'm like, damn it, what do I do? And so I've been doing the hammer business, and it's kind of been feeling really good. I don't know if you guys can see, like, I've added a bit of size to the problem area, right? Whatever. All of this hurts for me. And by doing all of this business, I feel like, I don't know, it's hard for you guys to tell, but I feel like I've added a bit of size there. It's all pumped up and gorged. And I do that every other day, and it's kind of been going all right. And then today, 142 felt okay. Once again, I unracked 142, and I'm like, this is not crushing me. And then down and up. So I think, for me, the rate limiting step is not the actual pressing muscles. It's all the other stuff that screams at me when I handle that next weight. So I'll continue doing the doubles, continue to do the hammer business, and we'll go from there. Once again, this was the last thing that I did in the training session. I wasn't thinking I was going to be talking about that. What I wanted to talk about is me trying to do hang cleans or some sort of abomination of a hang clean that I'm doing right now. So I did them yesterday. I'm doing them today. I'm going to try to do them every day now. Today I worked up to 60 kilos. The barbell is not the greatest. I'm kind of looking into getting a needle bearing barbell that spins more freely, because this one kind of like bites you a little bit. It doesn't like to spin. So I'm going to try and do that. Today I did a whole lot of sets. I did 5 sets with the barbell, 5 sets with 40 kilos, 3 sets with 60 kilos, like sets of 5. Trying to kind of get used to, I know it looks awkward. Like a lot of you guys are like, man, you can, freaking front squat 180 kilos, man. You should be able to clean like crazy. The actual squatting portion is not the worry. It's just that technique, man. It's technique. Like, for me to get the bar here, exactly where I want it, is the problem. Once the bar is here, of course I can squat freaking 160 kilos front squat, or 100 kilos, or 140. It's not a problem. But it's the fact that getting the bar in that perfect position from the floor, that's the tricky bit, right? And that's the freaking technique. For me, obviously, I have enough squatting power. But how do you get the bar to that perfect position? Because if the bar goes here, you're going to drop it. If you go into your neck, you're going to go backwards. And that's a fear of mine, right? I don't want to be doing that. I don't have shit everywhere. So right now I'm kind of doing hang cleans, positions which are not going to hurt me. I'm not going to roll backwards. I'm going to throw the bar, whichever way. So that's kind of how I view it. Maybe tonight I will order a bunch of things, like a couple of mats. I don't know. I first need to kind of work out which barbell to buy. A few of you fellas have kind of sent, there's barbells for $300 here in Australia. That I can get, delivered in a week or whatever. I don't know if it's truly worth it. A lot of guys are saying it's worth it. And the knurling in this bar is, my hands are freaking screwed. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is like 2 days of freaking doing cleans already. Like, my skin is, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's already getting destroyed, you know. And now I'm not even doing deadlifts. I'm just freaking squatting at the moment, right? So yeah, it's something that's a little bit, has a nicer knurling and spins a little bit better. I reckon I'll have an easier time. And then a couple of mats. Some of you guys said get horse mats underneath the mats. And then I'll be able to, you know, handle a bit heavier weights. Because right now I'm also catching it on the way down. And that's a freaking pain in the butt. It's kind of hitting my quads and stuff. So it would be nice if I could drop it. But I'm also thinking I don't want it to be like, you know, freaking the garage doors vibrating. I don't want that to happen. So, but I want to get some. I want to get some so I know what I'm dealing with. And then maybe like when I'm training in the middle of the day, like today, on the day off of work, you know, 2 o'clock, I'm sure no one's going to care me banging around the place. So yeah, anyway, good session. You know, 3.5 years in the making PR. It just goes to show you, man, if you put some sort of consistency and you say to yourself, I'm going to bench every other day, and you do that for 50 days as a PR, you know, not only have I gone up to my previous strength, but I went beyond it, you know. So I mean, if you say to me another 50 days, I'll get to 145 kilos. That's freaking all right, man. Like, how many 50 lots of days are there in a year? 6? So 6 PRs in a year? It's freaking all right, man, if you ask me, man. If you think about all the other stuff that I've kind of, in terms of the progression, everything's slowed down. But I feel like I'm in a good spot right now. Like, my lower body's not hurting me. My upper body's not hurting me. So I've finally kind of found some sort of answers. Takes a long freaking time. So there's nothing to get excited about, though. You know, that's my kind of like the overall feeling that I have right now. Nothing to get excited about. It's kind of like, it's relief at best, because I know that these elbows are not gonna like me trying 145. I have to do a lot of work to the elbows for them not to get pissed off about 145. And I can imagine 150, 160. You know, I need to put more and more work into some of these accessory movements for me to tolerate it. And of course, a lot of us don't like doing the accessory movements. It's tedious, it sucks. But also, for a lot of you guys, you have different problems. So you need to find the right accessory movements and then spend a whole bunch of time doing it to get a chance. So it's like, but that's the journey, that's the game we play. You know, for me, it's like, I've never had a question of, do I want to do the work? For the bench press, it has been like that. Haven't been wanting to do it. Squatting is always, I've always had desire and willpower to do it. It's just, I've been lost. I've been lost for a very long time. I feel like now I've found a solution, and now I can just freaking spam the hell out of the exercise that I found to help me. And then as things happen in life, you find one solution, and then all of a sudden there's 50 million solutions for all the other problems that you have. It's weird how it works. My squatting feels incredible right now, and all of a sudden benching feels incredible. That's how it is. Anyway, guys, appreciate all of you, like I always say, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.